So this is that pretty in-depth build of a Halo influenced or Halo style gel ball blaster that's going to obviously be fully working and over 300 FPS. So I'm trying to do a better job of chronicling the work process here, the build process on this specific one, just because it is very a lot of steps, lots of detail, lots of pieces. So I've been printing a bunch of pieces. The first video, I just kind of showed you the handguard and part of the riser and described what else was going on. Now I pretty much have everything printed. I don't think there's any additional pieces that I need, and then everything's kind of primed. I've mentioned it before, this type of textured spray paint, which Krylon makes this one, which I do like better because this one seems to be more like an acrylic, which dries fast. And then Rust-Oleum makes this kind, which is more of an enamel, oil-based, which takes longer to dry, longer to touch. But you probably can find this easier. This seems to be at more stores than the Krylon version. So I use that as a primer. So that works a couple ways. I like putting that little bit of texture on there. It's not too much that it's, crazy at all. It's just a little bit of texture. And that also helps, cover up any small imperfections in 3D prints. Now, unfortunately, there's still a lot of hand finishing, a lot of hand sanding that has to be done. The other thing I thought I'd touch on is just some of the tools I use quite often when it comes to 3D printing. So if anyone else is doing that, are blowtorch. Works great for, warming something up to have to bend it slightly. This type of wood filler. So this is just the white, and you can use this to fill. When it dries, you can sand and paint it. That works fairly well. A 3D printing pen. This works to help fill voids. You just fill it up with basically 3D filament that's directly from there. And then I probably use a plastic welder the most. So this really just heats up super hot and lets you melt down pieces and form them, combine them, that kind of thing. And speaking of how we combine things, I don't think I mentioned this in the first video. Obviously, these are two big pieces, right? You want to keep them together nice and strong. So I have upgraded, I guess you'd say, to this is a 450 millimeter metal inner barrel from X-Force Tac USA. So that's what's in there. And then, so that's the inner barrel. And then I guess we call these outer barrels. That's inside a metal barrel that's somewhat like this. And these were just some extra pieces I had around, right? So that's inside there. So that combines all the way out as well for additional strength and rigidity. And then even larger pieces at the junction point. And then I used carriage bolts. Basically, I chopped the tops off the carriage bolts because to me, they don't come in very handy, and I have a bunch of them. And so then they become like a little rod. And so I have those in there as well to keep that together nice and strong. Okay, so what else have we got done? Everything else is printed. So we got the riser up here. This is where this rail will go. I do plan on doing some kind of elaborate cover / sleeve for whatever optic I put up there so it goes along with the theme. There'll be some kind of 3D, dimension added up front there. This is a rail for the bottom. This is just kind of a plate that, again, these are all going to get painted out in different colors. You can see back here, these are some of the colors that I'm going to incorporate probably. Maybe not so much this one, even though they call that a perfect gray. It looks very white, but it's definitely going to be grays and dark grays and blacks, okay? All these pieces out here, little rail that's going to go out here as well. Over here, we do have a couple decorative pieces that are going to go on each side of the final part of the handguard. All right. Even a nice piece that'll go on the mag. Probably just going to go ahead and glue that on the mag, but that'll incorporate some colors. I'm not sure which ones yet. Here's your front grip. Okay. Here is the charging handle. You can see that I've built that out wider, kind of given it a cooler design because it needs to stick out here. So that way it's definitely going to stick out. Up on the receiver, So this piece is just kind of again, a decorative piece that'll go right there. And then we've got another decorative piece that goes down here. So really all you're going to see is the ejection port, okay? But then I wanted to, of course, leave this open. So you'll see the ejection port, you see there. And then there is a back sleeve as well, which will just kind of go like right here. And again, just kind of combines everything together so we don't see seams. There will be this kind of knuckle duster style that'll go down underneath the bottom, right? And will attach to the mag well. And this is just a piece that attaches and then kind of holds it on, and that'll go along the side of the mag well too. So really incorporating all kinds of things here, tons of stuff. Here's the crazy stock that took a day and a half to print on a fast printer. I really incorporated a bunch of, design into it as it printed. So that, of course, made the print process a lot longer. If I were to redo it again, I'd probably keep more flat sides and then just add the decorative kind of panel pieces afterwards so they can be printed different colors. But I'm still very happy with it. We will put a couple little decorative pieces like this. And again, these are all just little pieces that I cut off of different Halo cosplay models because I thought they would look good here. So when I initially made the stock, battery box is up here, and I had the end of the battery box door right there because, I don't know, that just seemed right. But of course, after if you're not patient enough to wait for everything, you're starting to print things before you have everything together. I'm doing a lot of this design kind of in my head. And so when you put that on there, I was like, oh, that's not going to be able to get a battery in it because the riser's right there. And I did want this to all kind of combine into one piece. Now, I am glad there is a void there and there's an opening, because what that's going to allow me to do is to basically set up the connection for the wire into there, which would be necessary. So it wasn't all lost that it was like that. That'll make things a little easier for me. So I got a filler piece there, and then basically I put a hole on the back end. I'm not going to turn it and hold it right now because pieces are going to fall all over. So then on the back end, there'll be this stock pad. This is going to have a piece in here I was customizing that'll go in there, or it might just have two washers and the screws that would cover up any imperfections there. So this piece goes on the back, and then the battery is just going to go. You're going to have your little opening right here, right? So that'll just go right along the back there and line up. I've already drilled that hole out, right? And this way I can paint that pad a different color as well too, that stock pad. So that'll look, cool. That'll pop a little bit. So we'll have, like I said, about 3 different colors going on. We'll still have some black. I don't plan on using a lot of black. It'll be more of the grays and the light grays, and then incorporating those, in whichever design I think looks best, at least when I start it. And then hopefully it turns out right. So anyway, that's everything. I know these have been long videos. I hope you guys actually liked learning about the process. There were a couple people who wanted to, and I thought since this is such a crazy in-depth build, I might as well chronicle this process, kind of show you all the steps involved. So next video, hopefully I'm going to have this painted out the way I want it. So like I said, this is just kind of primed right now. I'm sure there's still going to be, as I go through, some imperfections I need to fix on some pieces. Any that were really bad, I reprinted, like if they had issues on the printer, because that can always happen. So we'll go back, we'll do that. We'll get it painted out really nice. And hopefully the next time I show it to you, it'll be pretty much complete. So I can show you a completion video, tell you anything else that's come up, and then do a final kind of demo video. All right, so again, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share my channel with your friends, and participate in those monthly giveaways. Thanks.